UPSC, Union Public Service Commission. It is a constitutional body. It was set up in 1926. This body has some bit of legacy in the imperial colonial history also. The British also had a body of this kind, which ultimately has now become the modern India's institutions for recruitment into a very special category of services, which includes a lot of administrative jobs and also a lot of other supporting services as a part of good governance. This institute conducts examinations for as many as 13 different type of services. We have Provident Fund officers like EPFOs, even the very famous NDA examinations, or even the examinations for Air Force. We have examinations like Indian Engineering Service, Indian Economic Service, Indian Statistical Service, Indian Forest Service. In totality, there are about 13 different this kind of examinations, one of which is the India's premium services called as Indian Civil Services. So most of us have heard about IAS, IFS, IPS, Revenue Service Officers. So they come under a category called as UPSC Civil Services. In short, also called as the examination for civil services or simply Civil Service Examination. Now this examination for civil services, it's in itself accounts for about 24 different type of services. So while most of us know about IAS, IFS, IPS, IRS, in audit account services, in totality there are about 24, 25. It does vary, but lately around 24 such services are under one category called as Civil Service Examination. Now this examination and this career job into bureaucracy, into India's civil services, administrative jobs, they are much sought after. There are many different reasons why people prefer this particular job. Of course, the most important being the kind of social status, the kind of social acceptance this particular job has. In India, IAS or IPS, IFS are considered as one of the most elite, one of the most powerful, one of the most influential people who are capable of influencing India's administration, policy making. They are at the topmost power levels of India's entire political and administrative system. Of course, at the top level, we have the politicians, we have the cabinet ministers, but there are a whole range of people who work to support them. Some of them, I'm sure you've heard about the PMO, you've heard about the cabinet secretaries, you have heard about the chief secretaries. So they become what is called as India's executive. They are the ones who actually formulate the laws. They are the ones who actually do the groundwork, implementation of laws, even planning, and essentially they are the think tanks who make things happen as a part of India's administration and development. To be very honest, the political system is largely around the representatives, and these representatives can come from different backgrounds. It is not natural for them to know all the nuances of law, all the nuances of administration, all the nuances related to development priorities. So who helps a politician, who helps our Prime Minister, our Cabinet Ministers, our Minister of States? They are essentially people who make up the bureaucracy, are famously called as the steel frame of the country. In conversations, the civil servants and the executive and the bureaucracy are called as the permanent government of the country. They are the permanent executives of the country. And whereas the politicians, they are elected, re-elected once in 5 years, and it varies according to the vacancies, varies according to whether the elections are conducted as a part of early elections or later. But the civil servants, the bureaucracy, they continue to be part of the executive as a continuous set of representatives who work for developing India's policies, India's laws, and India's administrative functionary. Now, why people become, like I said, there are many reasons. They are considered most powerful, most prestigious, but there are a lot of people who enter this particular line also as a part of their ambitions to be effective in India's development planning. There are people who have ambitions to work for society, work for India's development, work to solve India's conflicts, to solve India's problems. And recently, the foreign policy makers, the foreign representatives of India also see a global role in themselves. A lot of geopolitics concerns, a lot of global security concerns, and IFS in the United Nations. They are a very powerful set, influential set of leaders. I'm sure some of you have seen our Foreign Minister Jaishankar ji interact and talk to the media and people. He was one of the Foreign Service executives, and then ultimately he became India's Foreign Secretary. So many reasons why people aspire. And if you ask me from my experience, India has a great diversity of economy and social structure. India has a lot of diversity in terms of challenges. The kind of job profile, the kind of career this line offers, it's also a very good mechanism for people to escape their disadvantaged conditions. Think of people coming from villages, coming from a generation who has not been as empowered. Think of people coming from families where otherwise the heritage of education is not there. But if they work hard, if they are able to put efforts properly, they can escape the debilitating conditions from where they have come out. So a lot of people who qualify are middle class people. A lot of people who qualify come from disadvantaged group. A lot of students who qualify come from parts of India that has not seen development. And this service gives them an immense opportunity to rise up, to escape, to become one of the more powerful individuals, and eventually maybe help develop the regions, the societies that they come from.